Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Classified Captures. Expect to be thrilled, excited, and my personal favorite, scared even a little bit by some of today's clips. Without wasting too much of your precious time, let's jump right into it. Ever seen something and thought, well, this looks suspicious? We have a scenario right here. A man was in traffic on the road when he noticed a car ahead of him. It was a truck that had a curious-looking tank on its tail. This tank looked like some sort of reservoir. It was round and huge with some boxes on its side like a window. This could be anything at all, but what got the man's attention was what happened next. The round thing began to shake, and if you listen closely, you will hear strange noises coming from within. If you ask me, it sounded like some sort of dinosaur because even beza elephants or tigers do not sound like that. Whatever it is, it certainly has to be a huge creature. But what creature could it be, and why do they have to keep it from the public eye in such a suspicious-looking compartment? Let the conspiracy theories flow. I know that scientists are out there in their labs cooking up strange concoctions and creating strange creatures. Whenever I've talked about it, I've been called a conspiracy theorist, but how do you explain this? In this footage, we see a woman petting what looks like a cat. A few seconds later, when she reaches its sides, she stretches what looks like a pair of wings. A cat has a pair of wings. If this is not the work of some science wizardry, I don't know what is. If it's a deformity, what DNA in a cat can create wing-like limbs? The footage succeeded in creating a lot of chaos on the internet, but none explained what we're dealing with. Some stated it had to be a realistic cat accessory. I haven't seen one close to it, but I'm also hoping that's what it is. I don't want to believe this is real, but what do you think? There have always been stories of Bigfoot encounters, and most of them have just been of the creature walking by or hiding and staring at people. However, we came across footage of an encounter with the creature, and I must say this is one of the scariest encounters we've had on this channel. Enjoy. This encounter happened back in 2014 in a small town in Northern California. Two people living in a trailer in the woods were retiring to bed when suddenly there was a sudden shake of the trailer with an aggressive growl. It was obvious there was a large creature doing this because of how full the growl sounded and the strength with which they shook the trailer. The residents of the trailer tried as much as possible to remain calm as they filmed this. They had all windows closed so they couldn't see the creature. There had been talks of Bigfoot sightings in the area, but they might have probably dismissed it. This encounter changed everything though. Some way, somehow, they survived the night, and when the morning came, they found strange fur there. What do you think of the encounter? What do you see here? A bird on fire or a cool camera trick? This footage has been circulating on the internet, and it stated that it was seen on an electrical pole covered in flames. The odd thing was, the flames didn't consume it, and after a while, it flew away. If you have watched the Harry Potter films at least, then you should have an idea what this is. Yes, a phoenix. For those of you who don't know, it's a mythical bird that is said to be covered in flames. Several cultures acknowledge the bird, and it's also a spiritual symbol of rebirth. Watching the footage again, well, what do you guys think? Is this really the phoenix, or is someone messing with us? This footage was captured by a group of men who noticed something strange going on in the night sky.
What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck?
There were thundering sounds and lights moving about. The lights looked like they belonged to some sort of craft, but the formation of the lights was unlike the crafts built by humans. Take a look at it. The unmistakable silhouette of the craft boasts of a design that defies the conventional boundaries of human engineering. The conclusion is inevitable. This has to be another encounter with an unidentified flying object. Next, we have a Bigfoot encounter far different from the previous footage that we have seen. While some men were at work in the forest digging the ground, an eerie presence cast a shadow over the excavation site. Unbeknownst to the workers, a colossal figure reminiscent of the legendary Bigfoot loomed behind the excavated vehicle, concealed by the dense foliage. The creature, unfazed by the machinery and the men at work, stands there for a while looking at the men. You have to wonder, what could be going through the Bigfoot's mind as it watches the human intruders? Does he find them interesting, or does their presence amuse him? To know for sure, we may need an interview with it. What's going on here? This was recorded during a thunderstorm. This whole thing started after lightning struck the ground. When it did, it didn't just produce the usual flash. Instead, it left a mesmerizing ball of light, a radiant orb that gracefully swirled amidst the turbulent sky. Its movement, akin to a suspended bulb hanging from an invisible wire in the heavens, defied the conventional aftermath of lightning strikes, leaving viewers with a sense of awe and wonder. What could this be? That we couldn't find out, but that doesn't stop it from being awesome now, does it? If you've made it this far, could you please hit the like button, subscribe, and even drop a comment if you haven't already. It goes a long way to make it possible to create more videos for you. Thank you for doing so. Moving back to today's episode, forget about Bigfoot in the forest. We have a celebrity Bigfoot that made it to the limelight on live television. A couple taking a stroll through the woods, completely unaware that they're about to share the spotlight with none other than the legendary Bigfoot. As the camera captures the serene scene, watch closely behind the unsuspecting couple. Just behind them, there are two larger-than-life figures unmistakably resembling Bigfoot. They casually strut into the woods behind some bushes like seasoned celebrities, avoiding the paparazzi. I can imagine the headlines: Bigfoot making a surprise cameo on a reality show. But what I'd like to know is, what brought Bigfoot to the limelight? Was it a quest for fame, a desire for a change of scenery, or just a spontaneous stroll caught on camera? Share your thoughts. Now here's footage that looks like it's been plucked straight from the pages of folklore, or, for the Naruto fans, behold the nine-tailed demon fox, a mythical creature steeped in Asian lore and made famous by the world of animation. While walking by the woods at night, someone claims to have captured footage of this mystical being in the forest. In the eerie darkness, the video reveals what appears to be luminous tails glowing vividly. The darkness of the forest and the brightness from the tails make it challenging to tell whether this is a genuine encounter with a legendary creature or a result of clever editing. And just as swiftly as it appeared, the creature vanished from sight, leaving the forest in total darkness. Your verdict, real or not? Imagine taking a stroll through the woods when all of a sudden you come across someone crouched on the ground behind some bushes. Just as soon as you're about to call out, this person stands up and you're met with what can only be described as not a human. Standing at an imposing height of 7 to 8 feet, the creature emerges from the shadows covered in dark fur. Beyond that, it's what I can describe as a mosaic of ape and human features coalescing in a form that is unmistakably Bigfoot. Its imposing presence leaves you awed. If it was you in this situation, what would you have done? Wrong answers only. Hold on to your tinfoil hats because we've got a glimpse into the mysterious world of Area 51. In this footage, the focal point is a craft eerily reminiscent of the iconic flying saucers. Suspended in the air, it sparks questions about the nature of the technology hidden within the secretive confines of Area 51. The intrigue deepens as the camera shifts its focus to another craft resembling an upside-down bowl. Upon closer inspection, intricate symbols and signs emerge on its surface, adding an eerie and alien feel to it. The cryptic markings suggest a level of sophistication beyond conventional understanding, which leaves us pondering about its origins and capabilities. But you've got to ask, is this truly a Area 51, or is this whole thing made up? Share your thoughts. The word forest typically conjures images of lush, thriving ecosystems teeming with life. However, the concept takes a dramatic turn when confronted with the reality of no-tree forest captured by a drone in 2018. This peculiar landscape, located in Washington near Keechless Lake, challenges our traditional notions of what a forest should be. As the drone soared over the area, it revealed a haunting scene, a forest devoid of the familiar green canopy, replaced instead by a vast expanse of dried tree stumps. Now, the backstory to this eerie landscape is as fascinating as the site itself. Centuries ago, the trees in this area were felled, leaving behind the stumps. But nature had another act in store for this peculiar scene. The land was submerged underwater for years, acting as a kind of time capsule, preserving the remnants of the once thriving forest. When the waters eventually receded, what remained was this eerie tableau. A forest without trees, but filled with the silent whispers of centuries gone by. Ghosts and spirits are entities that are largely believed to roam the earth. In chilling footage taken by a girl by her friend when they were descending a hill, the camera captured something peculiar. While she was being filmed from behind, a ghostly figure glides from the bushes on her left toward the girl. As soon as it gets to her, it vanishes. We don't know what this entity wanted with her or why it moved toward her. The girl herself seems unaware of the situation until they went back to review the footage. What was the entity's purpose? Why did it choose to approach the girl? Was it a fleeting visit from a lost soul or something beyond our understanding? Turns out it's neither of these. The footage is actually edited. You might want to hold onto your fishing tails because we've got a peculiar one swimming your way. A man had spotted a headless fish in a lake and watched it swim for a while. The curious man, intrigued by the whole thing, went even closer to pet it. Surprisingly, the fish responded to the touch by slightly wiggling in the water. It's a known phenomena that after a part of a living creature is severed, there's a window of time when it continues to exhibit signs of life before succumbing to its fate. In this watery tale, it appears the fish's head became the unfortunate snack of a predator, leaving the body to carry on swimming in the lake. But even then, you have to admit, this is weird. You might want to prepare yourself for the next footage. In this, we're introduced to a 52-year-old casket that was opened to reveal something rather extraordinary. As the casket is pried open, a pungent odor wafts through the air, a testament to the passage of time and the mysteries that lie within. But what steals the spotlight is a sight that defies the solemnity of a typical burial scene. A golden carcass adorned with some shades. Yeah, that's right, shades. While we may not know this person, we can tell that they left in grand style. However, the circumstances surrounding this peculiar discovery raise a cascade of questions. Who is the occupant of this aged casket, and why does their body appear to have taken on such an unusual hue? Before we move on in the next video, just another reminder, if you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed to the channel yet, please do so now. I wouldn't want to send a Bigfoot after you. And don't forget to share with your friends and family as well. Thank you very much. For our next footage, we embark on a journey into the cosmic unknown, where the skies become a canvas for the mysterious and the unexplained. In this footage, someone spotted this peculiar craft, and from what we can see, the wings of the craft are lifted upwards, and there seems to be a colorful light coming from the back of the craft. In an era where UFOs have become a household name, all this does is confirm the suspicions many have had about their existence. The lifted wings and the vibrant lights contribute to a narrative that stretches beyond the boundaries of our understanding. Speaking of objects in the sky, let's talk about the ones falling out of the sky. A van owner in Milwaukee came out to find his van trashed by an unknown object. The object was huge and heavy and shaped like a cone, but it was hollow. It had smashed the top of the car, meaning if the owner of the car was in it at the time, he would not have survived the impact. The authorities were contacted and they came over right away to carry out the object. But they didn't give any information whatsoever on what this thing was or where it came from, almost as if they were hiding something. One of the residents said that she had seen the object fall from the sky. Reports say it also smells like diesel, so that means it should be a part of some sort of machine, but we're still left with what this thing actually is. While hunting one evening after a snowstorm, a man came across this creature on the forest floor in the snow. The creature's features painted a whimsical picture: a round head, a human-like neck and shoulders, its skin resembling the hues of dried leaves. What drew the man's attention most were a pair of glowing eyes that sparkled in the darkness. Caught off guard by the unexpected presence, the creature wore an expression of unmistakable surprise, as if both hunter and the creature had stumbled upon each other in a moment of mutual astonishment. Now, the question is, what creature could that be? A goblin or a mistaken identity of a nocturnal animal? A part of me suspects it might just be a goat, but, well, who am I to go against the majority? A man in Vermont, determined to catch the perpetrator behind the nightly apple heists on his property, was met with a sight he'd not expected. Frustrated by the repeated incidents, he decided to set up a trail camera in hopes of identifying the culprit. This is what he captured. The blurry image captured by the trail camera revealed a strange creature crouched on the ground by the apple tree. Its appearance defied easy classification, sharing characteristics that seemed neither wholly human nor animal. The curious figure became the focal point of debates within the community, sparking varied theories about its identity. Some suggested that the creature bore a resemblance to the legendary Bigfoot. Others entertained the notion that it might be a clever thief in an elaborate costume, adding an element of intrigue to the apple-stealing saga. What do you think? The internet has become a breeding ground for intriguing and sometimes perplexing exceptional content, and this footage is no exception. In the clip, a creature lies lifeless on the ground, featuring a combination of fantastical elements: a long tail, large limbs with sharp claws, bat-like wings, and a mouth adorned with razor-sharp teeth. Obviously, this creature looks like what we'd expect a dragon to look like. But is it though? In an age where artists and creators can create mythical creatures to life through intricate sculptures and lifelike displays, skepticism surrounding the reality of such sightings is warranted. This could be an artful creation sculpted by a talented artist and strategically placed for public attention. While those are true, there's also a slim chance that it could be the real deal. So what do you think, real or not? In the mysterious realm of unidentified occurrences, a peculiar scene unfolded on the streets of America one random evening. The law enforcement authorities took charge, orchestrating a suspicious convoy that raised more questions than answers. As police vehicles, accompanied by trucks with ominous cages, shot down the street, helicopters circled above, casting an aura of intrigue over the unfolding events. To add to the mystique, the policemen emerged from their vehicles wearing masks. Speculations ran wild on what could possibly be going on here. Were they on the trail of a potential nuclear threat, or had they uncovered a cosmic mystery, perhaps even an extraterrestrial presence? One mysterious evening, a perplexing sight befell a town as a group of onlookers discovered an ethereal orb hovering in their surroundings. Upon closer inspection, the enigmatic sphere looked more like a ball of flames. The flames cast a shadow on the ground that followed it wherever it went, indicating that this was not a fake. Some dared to approach the suspended orb, yet no matter how close they ventured, the orb maintained a mysterious distance. So what could it be? A cosmic phenomenon, a spectral presence, or perhaps an entity from realms beyond our comprehension? Share your thoughts. In the depths of an undisclosed cave, a discovery unfolded that left those who stumbled upon it in a state of perplexity. Nestled in the shadows is an artifact. It appears too surreal to be dismissed as mere stone, yet too captivating to be easily categorized. Behold a figure frozen in time. Some gaze upon it and see the silhouette of a reptilian queen, an ancient sovereign whose regal countenance defies the aeons that have passed. The curves and contours suggest a creature of both earthly elegance and otherworldly allure. Others, contemplating the figure's presence in the cave depths, propose an alternative theory, that of a statue representing an ancient god. Without a lot of information to go by, we can only speculate. In the pursuit of extraordinary feats, individuals often embark on unique endeavors to secure a coveted spot in the Guinness Book of Records. A remarkable instance of this determination surfaced in Jamaica, where an elderly man captured attention by meticulously arranging his lengthy locks by standing atop a roof. He grappled with the challenge of managing hair so long that conventional heights proved insufficient. While the man's dedication to his extraordinary hairstyle is undeniably impressive, a closer look at the global stage reveals that another individual has already secured the title for the world's longest locks. Nonetheless, the Jamaican man's commitment to this distinctive appearance adds a touch of local flavor to the realm of record-breaking achievements, don't you think? If you thought that was weird and strange, then most likely you haven't seen this Trailcam capture. Imagine waking up to review the photos your Trailcam took only to find this. You might rub your eyes in disbelief thinking you are seeing things. You might probably tell yourself that you saw a wolf and mistook it to have a human form, only to take a second look and realize it's no fluke at all and you're actually not seeing things. An actual wolf-like creature with a humanoid body and nearly human facial expressions is captured staring at the lens of your trail camera. What would you do? Personally, I won't revisit that area again, at least not until and not without holy water, but this Trailcam owner posted it online to warn others. Bless his heart. What would you have done in such a situation? Tell us, as we really want to know. But we can't move to the next footage without scrutinizing this. Do you believe it's real, or did we shower a lot of blessings and show a lot of respect to a man who only wanted his 5 minutes of fame? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Next, we have this unsettling piece of footage captured by a trail camera situated in the heart of the woods. The footage starts off as your regular trail cam footage involving wild animals. We have coyotes featured in this clip, however, they look like they're going about their usual nocturnal business, perhaps hunting for some food. Nothing out of the ordinary, right? Well, at least that's supposed to be the case until you notice those pairs of eyes stalking them. Whatever those are, it looks like they could be ginormous creatures, maybe even a Bigfoot. One thing worries me though, it looks like our little canine friends are oblivious to the presence of those creatures, which is quite weird. If you know anything about those canines, is that they've got keen senses, especially their noses. If those two large creatures are close enough for their eyes to be picked up on the trail cam, then they're also close enough to be noticed or at least smelt by those coyotes. Since that's not what's happening in the footage, a part of me feels like this whole thing might be doctored. What do you think? Next, we have footage that presents us with a vast expanse of land covered in grass. However, as we examine the scene more closely, we notice something intriguing, if you could call it that. Towards the darker area of the landscape where the illumination is limited, two bright red lights stand out. They don't just look like small dots or lights, they look like eyes belonging to a large creature. Speculation often arises when such mysterious sightings occur, and it's not uncommon for people to associate this with another potential Bigfoot sighting. However, let's consider other possibilities. While many in the paranormal community subscribe to the idea that it's indeed a Bigfoot, when you pay attention to the footage, you see a small animal moving toward the right side of captured footage. The creature is in no rush and moves as though it has all the time in the world. If there was indeed a large creature with glowing eyes, trust me, that small animal would have been running for its life. How then do we explain the glowing eyes in the footage? CGI, AI, VFX? Whichever one fits the bill. The footage is most definitely doctored, and I'd like to believe it was done for clout. I mean, they almost had us too, until we noticed the small moving animal. What do you think of the whole thing? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. In this video clip, we are presented with a rather unusual sight, an enigmatic creature with a large, reddish-brown and hairy appearance. It appears to be a well-preserved body of an ape-like beast. As much as I'd love to tell you that's an ape, the uploader insists that what you are seeing on your screen is not an ape. It's purportedly a Bigfoot, supposedly killed and preserved in ice. He claims to have discovered it during an exploration and captured the videos. Looking at the footage now, do you agree that's Bigfoot? And speaking of odd captures, take a look at this next one. Am I the only one who thinks that looks like a Bigfoot? Sure, it does look like an ape at first glance, but a closer look shows that despite its fur and ape-like body, it's actually standing and moving upright, something that apes aren't necessarily associated with. Only one creature, however, has long been associated with such features. Can you guess which? Yes, the cryptid, Bigfoot. Judging by the creature's appearance, it seems to be a mature one. Upon closer examination, my team and I zoomed in and noticed that it appeared to have a baby on its back. Take another look. Do you see it now? A baby Bigfoot? Ever heard of such a thing? If you answered no, you aren't alone, and that's what makes this piece of footage profound, as no other image like this exists. What do you think, though? Real or cleverly planned hoax? Share your thoughts in the comment section. We know moose can get quite large, but this is just ginormous. Canada's vast wilderness often conceals the most astonishing spectacles of nature, and this footage captures one of its most magnificent inhabitants. Behold, a giant bull moose whose stature stands as a testament to the majestic wilderness it calls home. Stretching its formidable frame to a towering 7 feet, this creature commands awe as it moves its head studying its surroundings. And as befitting for such a king, it's the crown upon its head, the antlers that truly steal the show. As the lens captures this titan in all its glory, one can't help but ponder if it were crafted in a laboratory rather than born of the wild. The muscles, the mass, the sheer magnitude of this creature, it's a sight that borders on the surreal, a living testament to the mysteries of the natural world. So a call out to all our nature lovers out there. Have you ever seen such a beast? Do you have captures? Could you bless our email with them? Thank you in advance. Next, we have drone footage from an unnamed rural area. The footage starts off as one of those documentaries from the rural areas, but soon enough, we realize it's not. As the footage plays on, a peculiar and unsettling sight unfolds. At the entrance of what seems to be an old deserted shack in the middle of nowhere, we spot a pale and ghostly figure crouched on the ground, seemingly engrossed in some activity. The nature of this activity remains shrouded in mystery. Moments later, this enigmatic figure becomes aware of the drone's presence and proceeds to exit the shack and move towards the compound. As the figure draws nearer, we can discern that its appearance is both human-like and disfigured, evoking eerie and unsettling qualities. Some refer to this kind of being as a rake or a skinwalker, often associated with otherworldly creatures or even extraterrestrial entities. The questions that emerge are numerous. What might a creature of this nature be doing in a town setting? What could its intentions be in this particular part of town? The footage leaves us with a perplexing and unsettling enigma. As much as I'd love to believe this thing is real and genuine, a part of me believes. No, a part of me knows that this is definitely a hoax. The coincidences are just too numerous, and also, the being looks like it might be a human pretending to be something else. Have you ever been on one of those long family trips? Do you have any interesting memories from them? If you do, I doubt they can compare to what this family captured from their trip. As you watch the current footage, notice the camera's focus on a tree at the center of the frame. Keep an eye on that tree and you'll spot a shadow moving behind it. Do you see it? It doesn't look like anything you have encountered, does it? If you were hoping I'd identify this creature and share its history as we usually do on this channel, I must disappoint you today. We have gone through our archives on cryptids and other paranormal beings, and it doesn't match with anything in our database. We're tempted to think that this is the first time this paranormal being or shadow creature has been caught on camera. Some, including the family that recorded it, have stated it's definitely a Bigfoot, but that's something we just don't see. Do you, though? Have you ever had to deal with those children that rang your bells and ran as soon as they rang them? Well, what if you had a camera to record and know which kids in the neighborhood did that to your bell? It would help, right? Well, I guess that's what the owner of the Doorcam that recorded this footage thought. In the footage, we observe a light-like object approaching the door. Once this light reaches the door, the bell starts ringing, leaving you with questions. What is this light and why is it ringing the bell? It's not a one-time occurrence that you could dismiss as a fluke or error. It happens multiple times, leaving you wondering what's really happening. That's what the owner thought and uploaded the footage online expecting to receive some help. All who saw it were also shocked by the whole thing. They unanimously believed that it had to be a ghost. Honestly, I'm inclined to lean toward the ghostly explanation as well. Yet some paranormal enthusiasts suggest it might be a bug or cobweb, which isn't entirely impossible given our camera experiences. However, the logical explanation still leaves the question of why the bell rings. So what do you personally think? Are we dealing with a bug or cobweb, or is there an actual ghost out there? Or could the whole thing just be a clever attempt to mislead us? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. While the clarity of many creatures often leaves much to be desired, our curiosity remains undeterred as we delve into the content. Let's unpack this particular one. Deep in the remote wilderness, this intriguing footage was captured. As we analyzed the video clip, we're greeted by serene natural landscape, lush trees, cascading grasslands, and flowing water body. However, amidst this natural splendor, an enigmatic dark figure comes into view. The figure appears blurry, possibly due to the low quality of the Trailcam footage. This blurriness raises curiosity about its true nature. Speculations arise that this could be another Bigfoot sighting, a notion not entirely implausible. But the question lingers, is this entity covered in hair? What is the purpose of this creature's presence? Moreover, what could have compelled it to remain so motionless for an extended duration? Some suggest Bigfoot may possess cloaking abilities, making this dark, tall, and lean figure even more intriguing. But is that possible, though? We find ourselves at a loss for words on this one. While this particular footage is questionable, the idea of Bigfoot with cloaking abilities isn't entirely over the top. Or is it? Let us know in the comments section. This footage presents an intriguing discovery made by an intrepid explorer of the wild. The individual sought to investigate unusual tracks, and you won't believe what he discovered. At first glance, these footprints appear to be of human origin, resembling the impressions left behind by a person's feet or shoes. However, upon closer examination and comparison with the recorder's own shoe prints, it becomes evident that these footprints exhibit a unique characteristic: their depth. The depth to which these footprints penetrate the ground suggests a muddy or soft terrain, indicating that whatever creature left them possessed considerable weight or power. Given the profound depth of these footprints and the remote wilderness in which they were found, one theory emerges: the presence of the legendary Bigfoot. Bigfoot, often associated with elusive encounters in forested regions, is a creature that has fueled the imaginations of many. The investigator believes it's a juvenile Bigfoot, given how small but deep the footprints are. I must say that this is a sentiment I can agree with. What if I told you that the paranormal is not the only thing that could make you question all you know about our reality? Maybe I should just show you. Does it not look majestic? The creature on your screen is very much real, and your text today is identifying it. Do you know what species it is? Do you know a rare fact about this particular species? Tell us in the comments section and start your comment with bonus footage so we easily identify it. The most accurate description with the rarest fact will win a feature in our next video. All the best. Still on the bizarre and strange, take a look at this next Trailcam capture. What does it look like? Claws, right? But what creature could have claws like that? What kind of creature could possess such claws? At a quick glance, they resemble humanoid hands, even a bit like primate hands. I mean, look closely and you start to see it. Although the hands look like they belong to a primate, the nails make it clear that they don't. Even if it is a primate, the creature in this Trailcam footage seems enormous. Gorillas are indeed large primates, but the angle of the capture implies something more humanoid, and as we know, gorillas are not humanoid. So is this some unknown creature roaming the woods, or could it be a cryptid, say Bigfoot? Share your thoughts in the comments section, as I'd really love to know what you think. Stepping away from the mysterious and unknown, we have wholesome footage that's sure to make your heart warm. Have a look. Yep, that's a chimp, all right, and yes, it invited that man over to fetch water from the stream so it could drink. It's not always you see something like this. It's surreal, almost dreamlike, like a scene from the Chronicles of Narnia. It's obvious that this chimp must have grown up around humans given the way it's comfortable around the man, and you have to give the man props for not overreacting and going along. All in all, this is a beautiful scene in an otherwise chaotic world. What do you think? Is this an experience you would love? Tell us in the comments section. If you thought that was bizarre, then I wonder what you will make of this next one. In fact, why don't I just show you? I know it's rhetorical, but I still have to ask, what do you see in this capture? I don't know about you, but there's a striking resemblance between whatever that is and James P. Sullivan from Disney's Monster, Inc. You can't unsee it now, can you? Either way, what creature do you think you see in the capture? The one who sent it in believes it's a Sasquatch. Taking a second look at it, I kinda understand why the person may have said this, but it just doesn't cut it for me. The supposed capture doesn't look the littlest bit real, although you have to admit it's a cool-looking cryptid. If you were to ask me, though, I'd say that this is nothing more than an AI creation. It's just too obvious when I look at it. What about you? This camera footage was taken from the entrance of a home where an eerie creature comes into view. Taking a critical look at the creature, it has a head shaped like a light bulb and glowing red eyes. It appears to be maintaining balance with two strong arms by its side. It repeatedly comes into view and then retreats into the darkness. It's hard to say if it's afraid or luring its next and potential victim. What could this be and where could it have popped out from? Is it a possessed doll acting as the landlord of the house when the owners are not present? An evil spirit that has attached itself to the house, perhaps? Many think it's a rake, but I call it fake. I know I rhymed there, but well, that's the game. Maybe I should stop before you call me out for lame dad jokes, but either way, what do you make of it? What do you see? It looks ancient and prehistoric, doesn't it? Like a creature straight out of those dinosaur documentaries with CGI reconstructions of prehistoric times. But what if I told you that this is no CGI creation? What if I told you that this is an actual capture from the wild? And no, those were not hypothetical questions. The creature you see on your screen is actually real. Is it an alien? No. Is it a clone of some dinosaur from the dinosaur age? No. And a big no to all the hypotheticals in your mind. The creature on your screen is known as a gharial, an endangered species of crocodile native to the Indian subcontinent. Yes, that's right, it's a crocodile, but one that's unique from the crocodiles you're used to seeing. This particular species, scientifically known as Gavialis gangeticus, have long, slender snouts which distinguish them from other crocodile species. Their distinct thin snout, which can be up to 2.5 meters or 8.2 feet long in length in adult males, is filled with interlocking needle-like teeth that are well suited for catching fish. As freakish as they look, they're not aggressive towards humans and only like to eat fish. So rest easy, there's no nightmarish-looking croc coming for you. But bear in mind, these animals are considered endangered and protected by law, so do not by any means go hunting one. You might just regret it. Next, we have another footage of Bigfoot, which, although blurry, has been accepted by Bigfoot enthusiasts and the rest of the paranormal community as being authentic. In the footage, we see an ape-like creature with an almost human-like gait moving briskly through the forest. Oblivious to the fact it's being filmed, the creature, which is more brown than black in regard to the color of its fur, is described as maintaining a Bigfoot posture despite moving very quickly. According to Bigfoot experts, this is not a posture a human can attempt to maintain while moving that fast. The footage became so popular that almost everyone featured it, including some television stations. I find anything hard to dispute in this footage, and I'm leaning toward the fact that this is the real deal. What about you? It's hard to tell what exactly we are looking at, but there's no denying that whatever that is, it looks like what a kangaroo would look like if it had an interest in photography and is capable of smiling. The footage was clearly captured at night in a very dark environment. This makes it hard to discern what lies beyond the camera's immediate area of focus. Despite the uncertainties associated with the image, it's evident that the creature is humanoid. Could it be a previously undiscovered cryptid, or is that merely a normal kangaroo standing in front of a trail camera? Could the odd nature of the image be the result of bad lighting when the image was taken? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. In this video clip, we witness a late-night ride with the passenger recording the journey as the car passes through a grove of trees illuminated by an overhead light. However, the drive takes an unexpected turn when the car slows down, drawing attention to a peculiar sight. Among the trees, a dark creature moves. Due to the limited visibility and darkness, it's hard to tell exactly what it is. Many in the paranormal community speculated that it might be a skunk ape. Given the fact that we have little to go on about, it's an impossibility, but there are others who think it's nothing more than a black bear and that the footage was recorded by some park rangers. The video offers a fascinating glimpse of the animal's size and movements, but it's essential to remember that sometimes in low light or unusual conditions, things may appear differently than they actually are. So I have said what I believe it to be. What do you personally think? A team of ghost hunters ventured into a ghost town to explore in the dead of the night, and what you were seeing is the footage they captured. They started by checking out the buildings, which were all empty and mostly untidy. As the tour continued, they were brought to a halt by a sound, something like a scream. These fearless adventurers go around to find the source of the scream but come up with nothing. They continue their search once more, and then they are once again interrupted by another loud sound. It sounded almost as if like someone was throwing something at them. Naturally, they were frightened, and you could tell by how they jumped back. You'd think they'd turn back after this, but no, they went on to investigate the sound, but still found no one. As they proceeded with their quest, they noticed a figure from afar ignite a fire. It was hard to tell what or who it was, but they hoped that at least it was human. The lurker kept moving the fire in the air, almost as if it was warning them off the property before throwing the fire at the boys. After a while, the figure stops and the boys head in that direction, but as usual, they get there and there's no one there. They enter another room and see a cloaked figure from afar, and it also goes away as they get closer. This left the boys puzzled, and many of those who watched the video were puzzled too. Do you think the whole thing is legit? Thousands do, but we're not one of them. It looks too convenient and poorly executed, if you ask me. I mean, which sorcery can only throw fire a few centimeters away from himself? Not impressive at all. But what are your thoughts? Do you think this is real, or do you think those boys set it up for views? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Instead of introducing our next footage, perhaps I should let you watch and form your own opinions. Have a look. What do you think this creature is? It looks like a large reptilian lizard, but moves like a snake would. Although it does have legs, it almost looks as if it were slithering on the ground. If we know anything about lizards, it's that they don't move like that. And if we know anything about snakes, it's that they don't look like that. Some who saw it thought it was a creature from the underworld. Others also thought it was a prehistoric creature that had found a way to survive and remain hidden until now. But let's take a critical look at the video. If you look closely, you would realize that it's missing its front limbs. If you have been a long-time subscriber on this page, then you know that crocs and gators sometimes lose their limbs by accidentally biting off each other's legs thinking it was meat. Sometimes it's also due to aggression. I have a strong feeling that this creature might have been a victim of such. That would explain its odd look and movements. That sounds more plausible than any of the explanations I mentioned earlier. What do you think, though? Also, is that a croc or a gator? For our next footage, we go all the way to Indonesia for a rather unconventional capture. Don't just take my word for it, take a look. Yes, you're actually looking at some sort of weird-looking giant. This is the first time we've seen this particular footage, and a subscriber here drew our attention to it. According to the original uploader, the creature just showed up at the end of their street and remained still as though it were waiting for something or someone. Looking at the creature, it's much larger and taller than an estimated size we have for Bigfoot, suggesting it's not a Bigfoot. It appears to have a lot of fur and is obviously a humanoid. Does this fit any known cryptid? Well, not one that we are aware of, but as much as I'd love for this to be real, it just doesn't feel like it. I have a strong feeling that whoever uploaded this was trying very hard to mislead us. I think this might have been a statue or something set up in the area where the footage was taken from. Given the fact that nobody is running or screaming in the footage, I'm tempted to think so. Just in case you're wondering what I think about the camera shake, well, I believe it's more fake than the video is. The shake doesn't even look the least bit realistic, but that might just be my thinking. What do you see when you look at the footage? Do you think I'm being overly critical and skeptical? Share your thoughts in the comments section. I'll be reading. Deers are curious, yet very careful creatures. It's only natural for them to observe unexpected and unknown objects in their environments from a safe distance. Clearly, that's what the doe in this capture is doing. She's noticed the strange light orb and is looking at it. But what at all could it be? Well, if you've been on this channel for long, then you know that the deer is looking at a spirit orb. They tend to become visible during heightened spiritual or paranormal activity. At least, that's what we believe. Is the capture legit, though? We want to believe it is, but there's something offsetting about its looks and body language. I just can't seem to put a finger on it. Perhaps it's just me. If you notice it too, please do share it in the comments section. Unlike the first video we perused, this just took a rather goaty turn. On the outskirts of town, 3 men embarked on a curious escapade into the woods, eager to uncover any oddities that caught their attention as true explorers. Indeed, you might be thinking what I thought. Why choose the pitch-black hours of the night for this adventure? As they ventured into the woods, one of them carried a camera and a source of light to illuminate their path. Little did they realize that the nighttime pursuit would lead them to a creature with sinister intentions. Their progress seemed steady until a sudden and jarring interruption brought everything to an abrupt standstill. In the heart of nowhere, a lifeless body lay sprawled on the ground. Hovering over it was a peculiar creature, a hybrid with oversized goat horns, a goat's countenance, and a humanoid form. Caught in the act, the creature responds by waving its hand dismissively before redirecting its attention back to its newfound feast. Now, without casting any shadows of doubt, it's my view that this might be a hoax, plain and simple. The peculiar creature in question appears rather mascot-like, especially with that all-too-human wave. It's almost as if it's engaging in human antics. Would you drive through the woods with friends and family late at night seeking a thrill? If you said yes, then clearly you haven't seen this next footage I'm about to show you. The footage starts off with a woman screaming, and that's never a good sign. As the woman screams, we see a hooded being in front of the car, staring at them. The stare is all sorts of evil and eerie. Aside from her, we see that the windshield of the vehicle is broken, which means that the occupants of the car most likely ran into whatever was staring them down. How is it still standing, though? Are they screaming because they thought they killed the being in the hood? If that were the case, they would have gotten down to see how whoever it was doing. They remain in the vehicle, however, and a few seconds, whatever that being is, jumps onto the hood of the car. Clearly, it's fine, and you don't need to be a psychic to know that that's definitely not normal. It's almost like a scene from a horror movie. But if it's not human, and if getting knocked down by the car was not enough to hurt or kill it, even after the windshield of the car had been cracked, what do you think we're dealing with here? A shapeshifter? A skinwalker? The Grim Reaper? What exactly? Share your thoughts in the comments section. We'd love to hear them. Still on our streak of strange things, we have another footage you will want to see. This footage was taken by an individual who was out of their home with his mom during a storm. We don't know the exact circumstances that had them out long enough to have been caught in a storm, especially when they were in a structure so close to their home. This drone capture is from a vicinity mostly made up of a large plantation with grass in different stages and shades of their colors. If you pay attention further to the north, you'd see the grove of trees in many different lengths, all visible as the sun shines. It's all green grass and tall trees until a dark figure is seen in front of two white pillars that looks like a gateway between Earth and another world. The being is walking without a care in the world. Although we see a dark creature et al., it possesses a human-like gait when it walks. Here's where things get weird. No humans were expected to be in the area where the footage was recorded at the point it was. In fact, think of it more as an abandoned area with little to no people traversing it. Yet we see this tall, dark figure seemingly taking a stroll. This begs the question, what is it? A Bigfoot or a man in a suit? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Next, we have something that we can barely explain despite everything we have seen on this channel. We'll let you have a look for yourself. The footage starts off casually with a man trying to lift the face of a creature from the dark brown water. Given the color of the water, you may be tempted to suspect it's a catfish, but once the creature's face is raised out of the water, what we met with is unlike any creature we have ever seen. It looks like what would happen if a dolphin and a gator had a baby, but you and I know that's just not physically and biologically possible. Someone mentioned it might be a beaked whale, and we did the research. Although there might be some semblances, we don't think that that's what this is. The murky water raises questions. Is it simply muddy, or could toxic waste in the water be causing mutations in creatures? In today's world, such scenarios aren't impossible, are they? Well, tell us what you think. We'd love to hear your thoughts, because frankly, we're just lost about this. Now, believe me when I say we have seen all sorts of things on trail cams, but never seen what I'm about to show you on a trail cam. Just in case you didn't know, that's the Grim Reaper. And just in case you didn't know, the Grim Reaper is known as the personification of death across many cultures. He's usually depicted as a dark hooded skeletal figure carrying a scythe, which is exactly what he is carrying in the capture. He usually shows up to collect the souls of those unfortunate enough to be at the point of death. So imagine knowing this and having him show up on your trail cam at night. If that's not freaky, I don't know what is. But of course, we have to question the authenticity of this capture. Is it real, or is someone seeking their 5 minutes of fame? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Next, we have another one of those forest captures that is sure to leave you questioning everything you know and have accepted about this world. Have a look. The footage you see on your screen currently was captured by a man who was going through the woods on a beautiful sunny day. He was having one of those days when you can't shake the feeling that something otherworldly is lurking nearby, if you know what I mean. He could never shake off the feeling, and he understood once he got to the location he shot the footage you see on your screen. If you pay close attention, you'll notice that there's a dark figure in the center of the footage. Although it's not very clear, the uploader states that there was a tall ape-like beast or creature going on about its business there. Even though the creature hadn't noticed him and he was at a distance, its presence still filled him with fear. The fear he felt the moment he noticed the creature was, however, nothing compared to what he felt when the creature finally stood on its feet. At that moment, he realized that it was larger than he had already anticipated. At that moment, he felt the creature had noticed him, but it paid no attention and walked further into the woods, disappearing from sight. It's hard to authenticate the footage due to its blurry nature from being overly zoomed in. But what do you make of the footage? Do you think this is real? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. And for our final footage, we thought we'd sign off with something rather puzzling. Take a look. So this footage appears to have been taken by a father and son exploring the great outdoors. Their exploration is, however, cut short by something rather weird looking. At first, we're unable to see the creature in its full glory, but after a few seconds, we see it. Whatever your definition of cute and cuddly is, this creature certainly isn't it. Members of the paranormal community believe it may be a pixie. I'm not an expert when it comes to these small creatures, but I suspect it might be too. What do you think? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. And with that, we end today's episode. Thanks for staying with us. Before you go, are there popular trail cams out there you'd want us to take a look at? Please tell us in the comments section, as we'll be reading. You can also send us a mail of strange and unexplainable videos that you may have recorded yourself. Just forward them to classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll upload it in our next episode and give you the credit, unless you'd want to remain anonymous. We look forward to receiving your content. Like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to share the video with your friends and family. See you in the next one.